Hello and welcome to another week of the tennis. More big news coming your way. Djoker's Olympic dream, Novak targeting a gold medal defence at 2028 LA Games. The Queen of Queens. Tatjana Maria becomes the oldest WTA 500 champion in history and move over Tsitsipas. The star pairs vying for glory in the US Open mixed doubles. All that and more with me, Zav Muhlerbach, live from Tennis HQ in Melbourne. And of course, joining me as always, her initials might be BS, but she's not full of it. It's Brie Stewart.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
You
didn't
wrote
even write
that.
it. No, someone else
Oh my God,
did.
who wrote it?
Was it Harper?
I'm coming for you. I spent my whole life people making that joke about my initials.
Well, thanks for giving us new material
Yeah.
in your corporate Barbie attire.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a court date later or?
No, I've got some meetings I've got to look good for.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's thrilled to have you here as always. And across the desk, our favourite man about town is John Fitzgerald. Welcome, Fitzy.
Thank you, Zafe. Why is it that you bring a smile to my face? I don't know.
I don't know. The check
Why?
cleared?
Most people
It's good to
don't
be
have
here.
that reaction.
They don't?
No, so it's good.
There's a fine line
Thanks,
between
Brie.
smiling and grimacing.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I just thought you were
I
having
got it.
some indigestion or something. But no, thrilled to have you back, Fitzy.
Thank you.
And making her podcast debut,
Woo!
a big welcome to Aussie pro Jaimee Fourlis.
Yay!
Our first
Thank
ever
you.
Gen Zeta on the tennis.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Excited
that's
to
exciting.
do my first podcast. So happy to be here and thanks for having me.
Very good. How good was that?
That was perfect.
That was really good.
You can come every week.
All right.
Thank
Yeah.
Move
Done.
over me. Time for Jaimee. Well, we'll jump straight in. People want to hear about what's caught your eye. And we're going to kick off first. Fitzy, what's happening in the older ATP rankings?
Well, I think the big mover of the week or the big thought process for me is the Americans. They're pretty good. And, of course, Ben Shelton has broken into the top 10 for the first time. So, I don't think there's a ceiling on this lad.
I was going to say, what is his ceiling?
Yeah.
Hasn't got one.
I don't think anyone knows. I think he's a bit of a throwback for me. He's got a game that looks a bit like it was played 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but that can be a good thing. He's got some talent and some strengths and weaknesses that make him look like a more mature player. But I don't know. I think on the clay, you would imagine he would struggle a bit more, but on the hard court, it's obviously where he grew up. And on the grass, he can do serious damage. So I think when you serve that well, no one wants to play you. And those left-handers, it's an unfair advantage there. When you're a lefty and you serve that well, it is a difficult thing to combat if you're just a non-talented right-hander.
What do you reckon, Jaimee? Lefty power, superpower?
I actually quite like playing against lefties.
Oh.
Yeah, I have quite a good
Okay.
record against lefties. So for me, if
So
I
you're the
see
lefty
one,
kryptonite.
Yeah, kind of. Like when I get one in the draw, it doesn't
You
really
like it?
bother
Okay,
me.
good for
Yeah,
you.
so
Good for you. Well, you play
I'll
them.
take that.
You play them a lot less than right-handers. don't you?
Yeah, definitely a lot
Well,
less.
there's
but
less of them. But
less of them, but anytime I do get one,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I like it.
I can tell you, I wouldn't have liked to play Ben Shelton with that serve.
yeah.
And you battling away to hold your own serve, and he can just blow it past you quickly, game after game. So, look, I don't know what his ceiling is. I think he's going to probably have to keep his unforced errors down, and maybe his shot selection for me sometimes, needs to be improved. He gives away some points at the wrong time, and plays some low percentage stuff when probably he should think about high percentage, but geez, good. And he's busted into the top 10. Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul are already there. The Americans are looking pretty strong.
an American renaissance.
Yeah, to a degree.
Right. So you mentioned 10 years ago he would be the big dog. Who is he, for lack of a better word, the reincarnation of? Who is he similar to from a decade ago?
Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to give me a couple of minutes probably to think about the list that was back then. But there were more players like him or had that style back then.
Okay.
There's more players these days that are so tight with their mistakes. They don't give away balls as much as they should have. Ben still does a little bit, but he's got flair on the other side of that. So, look, off the top of my head, I'm not going to give you too many answers on that question, but I think compared to the Americans 20 years ago, you'd still have to stick with the three that were in the top 10 back then. There was Agassi. He did happen to win 8 major titles.
Yeah, he did all right, didn't he?
Not bad.
Yeah. Andy Roddick,
Oh, yeah.
He's
James
okay.
Blake.
Oh, his podcast
yeah.
could do with some work, though. I mean, gee.
I love Roddick's podcast.
There you go. Free shout out from the little podcast
Yeah.
that could.
It is going well.
Yeah.
I saw Andre interviewed on that last week, and it was really interesting to get inside of to have a taste of what's inside of Andre's head. He was, well, what a player. Yeah.
And what a mind.
And what knowledge.
Yeah,
he had.
it was a good interview, wasn't it? Ben Shelton, his dad, tennis player?
Yeah, Brian.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's
more
from
my vintage,
royalty,
a little bit younger than me. My vintage. He was a good player. Good player. But his son has already gone past probably the level that
he was at.
But Brian was good, and he was a right-hander, but he also had a big serve, difficult, jumping, kicking right-handed serve.
Brie, over to you. What's your eye-catching eye catch?
Well, you can't really go past the fact that the US Open announced, well, we've talked about it on the pod, the change in how they're doing mixed doubles. And this week they announced who those mixed doubles will be and the pairings as well. And you really can't go past some of the big names in there. So you've got Kyrgios with Osaka. You've got Alcaraz with Raducanu, which he's saying he thinks he's been teamed up with the best woman on the tour. So there's some really big names in there.
Well, but no doubles players, really?
Well, that's the thing. So it's the number ones paired up, and then there is space in the draw for the top mixed doubles players as well, is my understanding. But that's yet to be announced. That'll be more kind of like in a normal draw.
What do you think, Jaimee, from a player's perspective? The whole new way of doing mixed doubles at a slam.
In opening week too.
Yeah. Great
I think it's tough, to be honest. Like, you can look at it one side for US Open to bring fans in. What a great opportunity to watch some of the best players in the world play with each other. But then on the other hand, you've got the ones that are playing mixed doubles week in, week out, playing doubles that don't have that opportunity. So it kind of gets taken away from them. And I don't know if you would call this so much a grand slam for mixed doubles. I don't know if you would have just gone with an exhibition and then you can still put the prize money towards that. And then gone, okay, we're doing it in opening week. Here are our players that want to come watch us play, and then still have that opportunity for the mixed doubles and doubles players to be able to have a grand slam to their name. So it's a bit of a tough one. And then, like, of course, with the format, best of 3 up to 4 games, no ad scoring, 10-point match tiebreaker. Like, it's a tough pill to swallow for the doubles players, I think, and for the singles players that also play doubles week in, week out. So that don't have that opportunity to play. But then, on the other hand, to be able to go watch all these top players, like, I think that's pretty cool. And my sister was like, I'd watch that. Like, what a cool opportunity to be able to watch that. And I'm like, that's...
As a fan,
that's pretty cool. Like,
which is certainly what I think, like, the event had in mind. Going, okay, how can we get some earlier eyeballs opening week? And it makes complete sense, don't get me wrong.
And for our listeners out there who may not understand what opening week is, that's what US Open and Roland Garros call qualifying week, and the
Fan
US
week
actually calls
also.
it fan week.
Yeah.
Wimbledon calls it qualifying.
Yeah. How Wimbledon of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's at Roehampton.
Is that a cricket pitch?
Yeah, exactly. No, you can't come on site until it's the real deal. Well, okay, hypotheticals round the table. Who would be your dream mixed doubles partner?
I think I would probably have to go for a Roger or Rafa. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just an unreal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put on a
that would
tennis
be
skirt
mine.
if I could play with Roger.
It would be
great.
pretty cool. I don't know if that would be cool, but
Hey, just I'm
not sure we want to see that.
Fitzy, get your mind out of the gutter. What about you, Fitzy?
Are we talking about current players or
Anyone.
Anyone.
through the history?
History.
Could be
Well,
Billie Jean King. Could be.
Well, my mixed doubles partner paid for half of my house, so I'm sticking with Liz Smiley.
Okay.
But if you look at globally, and if you look at the generations, how could anyone go past Martina Navratilova?
Oh,
as
great call.
As
Yeah.
a doubles player that could win in any situation. I mean, I think she won singles and doubles at something. I don't want to be quoted wrongly, but around 80 times. Might have been 75.
You heard it here first. 80. That is
might
unequivocal.
have been in the 70s.
Okay.
But can you imagine
That's pretty
on the ATP Tour level or Grand Slams or at that to win that many singles and doubles the same week?
Yeah, that's for the record books and beyond.
I did that once.
Hence half a house.
once. No, but Liz Smiley, I'm going to stick with my old friend. But if I had to go somewhere else and say who would you win mostly with, it'd be Martina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, bro?
Well, so you got to get a yes from. She's got a lot of people
Right,
knocking
send us
on
an
her door.
email, podcast@tennis.com.au. Navrat, let us know.
Do you know what? My head went straight to some of my favourite Aussies.
Such a
Jordan
patriot.
Thompson and Storm. Why not? I've probably seen them play already, to be honest, like in a United
lot.
Cup or something.
Yeah.
But no, for me to play with,
Yes.
it would be Demon.
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah.
Same height.
I just like the way he plays.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have to do much because he's very zippy.
Yeah, well, that
So
was
I
going
could
to be...
just stand there.
Yeah, that was my thing.
He'd
I
get
would
everything.
go hands down Serena for me because then I can just have a seat at the back of court with a pina colada.
Yeah.
And she'll take care of business.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I like
And
that
you
we're
and you
thinking
get half the
same.
prize money.
Yeah, you're trying to
yeah.
yeah,
Smart.
at least. I don't know.
Not at
you
least.
guys took it seriously and we were like, how can I do the least amount of work but
Yeah.
still get that prize money?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our picks for our partners. But let's have a quick listen to one Carlos Alcaraz on who he wanted to have a little hit with.
There's a lot of excitement in British tennis because we've seen you've entered in the US Open mixed doubles with Emma Raducanu. Who asked who? Did you ask Emma or did she ask you to play?
That thing came up, and I think it was a really beautiful idea that the tournament gave to us. And yeah, it was. I was excited. I'm excited about playing mixed double in the US Open. I asked Emma at the beginning if I mean I didn't know if she wants to play doubles with me, but yeah, she didn't think that much. I'm just happy to play with her. Have a really good relationship. We know each other since a really long time, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh, pretty cute.
That's
So
cute.
It's like asking for prom.
It really is.
Will you play with me?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
All right, well,
Maybe something will blossom there. All eyes on that.
what would be their celeb match couple name? Thoughts?
Ooh.
Alcaraz, Raducanu.
Need to think about that.
No, it doesn't roll.
Raduraz?
Raduraz. All right, we'll workshop that. Send us your ideas, podcast@tennis.com.
Alcaranu?
Whew. Oh, one from
Radical.
Harps. Radical. That'll work. Yeah. All right, Harper wins once again. Now, Jaimee, over to you. We're in the season de grace. Wimbledon. Hit us up with your thoughts on Wimbledon and lack of lead-in tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's caught my eye this week, is the lack of lead-in tournaments on the women's side. I'm not sure about like the men's side, but in terms of the women's side, pre-Wimby qualies. So I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I clicked one of the girls' stories and she put up online that she wasn't able to play a lead-in tournament pre-Wimby qualies. And I was like, at 150 in the world. And I was like, oh, like that's quite interesting. And
Was
then,
that Maddie English?
yeah, so I saw she put it online. I was like, oh, like that's quite interesting.
Yeah. And she's not like 400 plus.
No, she's definitely not 400. She's 150 in the world. And then I got asked to come on the pod and this was one of the segments. And I was like, that pretty much caught my eye. So I was like, maybe let's do some research into it before I come on so I know at least like I'm not making
finally,
something
a
up.
prepared guest. I don't know what that's like. Fitzy, pay attention.
I'm not making
Hit us
anything
up with your hard facts.
So you have pretty much Berlin, a 500, and Nottingham, a 250. They're the only 2 weeks of grass court tournaments the week before Wimby qualies. So the cut for qualifying for Berlin was 151 and the cut for Nottingham 250 was 121
121 for the qualifying cut.
for the qualifying cut. Yeah, you had
Yeesh.
Ons Jabeur playing qualies of Berlin at 50 in the world. So it was a pretty strong field for both.
Yeah.
And then you only had, so out of the 2, 4, 6, like 10 to 12 Aussie girls that are playing Wimby qualies, you only had 2 that were able to play the week before.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh my God.
And that's not a choice either. That's because they couldn't get into
Yeah.
anything. So you had Talia and Brie at 126 and 133 playing the week before. And then you had all the girls, so Dash at 137, Astra at 149, Des at 155, Maddie at 156, Lizette at 205, Emerson at 206, Arena at 214, and Taylor at 219, not able to play the
Just
week
not a
before.
chance.
So then I was like,
Not
okay,
an option.
Yeah.
it's not an option. So then I was like, okay, maybe there's like ITFs to play because I've always played an ITF sometimes on a fast hard court. Sometimes Madrid holds like it's like the running track. Like
Yeah.
it's quick hard.
Okay.
Or like a slick
Probably
hard. That's
probably
what-
low and fast, yeah?
Yeah, but it's actually called quick hard because it's a running track.
Right, okay.
And it just stays low. And I've played a couple times and I've really enjoyed playing it before I go onto grass because it
Suits your game.
suits my game, but
But it has similarities
it has
to
similarities. And when I go on grass, it ends up being the grass court ends up being slower than what I just played on.
Okay.
So, and then I was like, okay, maybe there's some ITFs that the girls could have played, but you only had a 75 in France and a 75 in Zagreb, both on clay. And then I was like, oh, maybe there's something else. And then there was only a 35 in Spain on hard. So there
So
was
where have they gone?
yeah, that's
They're
a great
probably just
question.
practicing.
No, not yeah, but like the tournaments.
tournaments,
Have they just
They cancelled. Do you think this has got to do with what they did with Queens, like adding
the men
the
to
female
it, the women
to
it?
Queens?
Well,
Has
that
that
would
had
have-
any implication?
I'm not 100% sure, but that would have been replaced of another tournament of
Yeah.
that week. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was an original addition, so you take away a tournament from
Yeah.
the week before. Like, that doesn't really balance out. So I'm not sure what has happened in that situation, but yeah, I know most of the girls, they haven't been able to play the week before.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great opportunity to go
I mean,
train
it's-
on grass, but you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty unfair.
Yeah.
But in your what should be done then? If you had the power,
Yeah.
what would happen in the week leading up to a slam to fix it?
Well, I think this is where the discussion of the girls who are on the WTA panel and council, this is something that they should be thinking of and bringing to light to the WTA to potentially talk about to help increase tournaments. I know there's been an increase this year of 125s. So I know we have 125s majority weeks, and that's been a help to a lot of the girls. But yeah, that's something that potentially the girls on the panel can bring to light and just be like, how are we meant to prepare if we can't get into a tournament?
Yeah. And when you've got, like, as you mentioned, Ons, who's 61 at the moment, ranked 61, she's not 61 herself, having to play through qualies. Like, there's obviously, it's very top heavy.
Yeah.
It's just pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Fitzy? I'm guessing that this isn't happening on the ATP side.
Well, I know that there's an extra week between the French and Wimbledon now, compared to how there used to be. They seem to have enough at the ATP Tour level.
Yeah.
They've got several in Europe in the weeks leading in. They've got Queen's Club. They've got more tournaments in England. There's a couple of challenges.
Yeah.
Tristan Schoolkate just won one of them, which was a great win.
Very
They
good.
give him a
Yeah,
bit of
great
confidence
win.
going to
Huge win.
qualifying.
Yeah.
And that's probably what you're talking about. He's had a chance to play.
Yeah.
He's got matches under his belt. He's
Build
got
some
a higher
confidence.
chance of succeeding probably
Yeah.
in the qualies now because of that.
Yep.
He's still playing this week. He won his first round yesterday somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it was.
Bristol,
but-
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all lead-in events, and I don't know the answer to this, and sometimes it goes to market value of what the local tournament directors are doing. But there's certainly an argument to say that it makes it harder for kids if they don't get the opportunity to play on that surface leading into the qualifying,
Yeah.
because the dreams are all about qualifying for Wimbledon, aren't they?
Yep.
And you go to the Roehampton. You mentioned that before. We've all been there a few times.
Yeah.
And, to succeed there and go on and play at the Holy Grail is what everyone's really keen to do. So I don't know the answer. It sounds like to me there's more, from what Jamie's saying, there's more opportunity there to play on the grass on the men's side. I don't know why that is.
I think we should, like, crowd fund, put a Kickstarter up, start our own little 125 somewhere. Let's do it. No? Yes? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
do you need?
Who's the tournament director?
Fitzy.
No. No, I'm looking at you.
Me?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I was
God,
looking
can
at you,
you
yeah.
imagine?
It'd be
It'd be
fun.
like a circus.
It would
It'd
be.
be out the front with a little...
Yeah, well, you know what? Court surface, hardwood, like a basketball court.
Oh, God.
you want it
Back
fast and
there
low,
again.
bang. That'll rip it right.
Oh, dear.
Hey, it's just a thought. But speaking of Wimby, they also announced their wildcards overnight,
Yes.
our time.
Yep.
Tell you what, let's have a look at all the countries they've included. All right. So we've got Great Britain. And one
Full
check.
stop.
One check on the ladies' side.
Oh, we do have a check. That's
Yeah.
good. Kvitova.
Okay. Bit patriotic. Good for them.
Um,
Anything else
That's
you
their
want to say?
prerogative. It's their prerogative.
It
Oh, I
is.
know. I'm just having a crack, Fitzy. Oh, let me be mean.
Yeah.
Wait for
Oh, you
the
should have heard me
listeners to
last.
come
I think you
for
say, "Let me
you."
be
Yeah,
me."
exactly. No, but I'm being nicer this week. Last week I was really hanging on Luke
The
Saville. I don't know
the
why.
Czech representative on the women's side is a two-time Wimbledon champion, right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right,
I think
Petra.
that's right. Yeah. So she's certainly a Wimbledon champion. So she's She's danced the waltz
Okay.
after the win, so you'd have to include her surely. But
What do we think about Lois Bosson not being included in this list? Or do you
Well,
think
'cause
that
she-
makes sense?
So can you remind me? She was the French player who got into Roland Garros.
As a lucky loser?
And she was ranked like something.
She was a wild
She was
card,
a
then a
wild
lucky
card.
loser into main draw, and then she got to quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Semis.
Yeah, but it's Wimbledon's prerogative. They can
Yeah.
pick whoever they want. So
'Cause
the
she made
points at
semis.
Roland Garros have gone on too late for the cut at Wimbledon, right?
I
I
think
think it's
so.
two.
I think
cutoff,
you're right.
The cutoff is
Yeah.
before the points come on for Roland Garros. So
6 weeks.
That's a bugger.
she'll be right next year.
Yeah. US.
Well, they'll be on for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tennis is tricky.
Yeah. I mean, we work for tennis, and I'm like, okay, hang on. So it's the one with the fuzzy balls,
Your
right?
face then you're like, yes,
Yeah.
Brie,
Well, it's
we
complicated.
play it.
No, but it is complicated, and it's complicated, and the surfaces throw in a real twist.
Yeah, they
Especially
do.
now that there's a fifth surface in the hard court of wood. In
Is
my
Is that what
tournament.
you're making?
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
go.
That's
Let
gonna be
go.
great.
Have you put a patent on that? Have you?
Why not? Yes, patent pending.
I can talk about decades past that people have played on wood before, Zave. It's no new thing.
Oh, okay.
Way
That's
back.
how it started in France.
Yeah, Fitzy was there.
With Louis, whatever number Louis was.
Louis the First, maybe.
Yeah, we had
that's
that as
gone back
one
a
of
bit.
our quiz questions one week.
Oh, Brie.
When
no
tennis
one
was
listens
first
to
done.
your quiz.
Whatever. Okay, let's move on to you, Xavier.
Oh, thanks, Brie.
What caught your eye?
Old mate Novak.
Oh.
Don't you come for me, listeners and viewers. He was all about the French Olympics, right? It's like, all I need is a gold. I just need a gold medal, and then I'm done, and then I can just focus on stuff, start to wind it up, become an elder statesman of the game. But he's just dropped in an interview on Serbian TV, I think it was, and well as on social media, the only thing that I have in my head which gives me motivation is the Olympics of 2028 in LA. Dude. That's what I have to say to that dude. Like, I'm not saying you're not going to win, and I want you to play. You're the GOAT. You are absolutely the greatest tennis player of all time. But, I mean, what are you doing thinking about 2028? You got many slams and many AOs to potentially win between now and then. Cool your jets, 24-time majors champion. Like, what's he
What was?
doing?
Do you know what the context was?
Oh,
how
context
he
is
mentioned
a
it?
waste of
You're
time.
ignoring context.
Yeah, I like to dive straight. For
Oh,
it.
yeah,
He saw the social clip.
Yeah, and was just
He
like,
didn't watch the whole interview, Fitzy.
oh, was it part of a
Well-
bigger interview? Was it? Kidding.
You know, I was thinking though a week or so ago about how many press conferences guys like that, and there's very few like that. How many they do? They do bucket loads of them.
It'd be an insane number.
Insane number.
And like a lot of the same answer, same answer.
and if you say one thing that's a little controversial outside
Everyone
of
holds
the
on to it.
1,000 things you've
Someone
said
will
that are
just
not,
run with it.
they're
Yeah,
just
including some
bingo.
little prick in Melbourne like me going, oh, jump on that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think he just talks to the fact that he's really proud to play for his country, which
Yeah,
we
he
know.
does. He's very patriotic, and,
and
that is
he
awesome.
Yeah, he-
wants to go play for his country.
He
one
did
more
it at
time.
Davis Cup level too.
Yeah.
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 Is it one,
And
like,
he's spoken about that the year he played United Cup, like how just a privilege it is to play for Serbia. And I think that's probably what's driving it. I think we spoke about it last week with the Savills Squared with Daria and Luke. We might be wrong by saying that he won't be there.
no,
because
that's
he is an absolute wizard of the game.
and he's
And every time we're like,
37, 38,
it looks like he's nearing the end, he goes and does something
wins a gold medal.
that
at the
proves
French.
us all wrong. So, look, I'm 41 this year. I won't be playing the Olympics, but I feel he might be able to do something far more athletic
Yeah,
than
I might not be
can.
fit enough to even fly to the Olympics, let alone play. So, very good. Well, Fitzy, what do you reckon? Based on
3 years is a long
Yeah,
way
that can
away.
happen.
A long way away.
well,
It
what? Yeah.
is.
So in the tea leaves, in the Fitzy crystal ball.
and exponentially, as you get older, the creeks and
yeah.
Oh, I know.
I can speak for this, Jamie. They get.
Oh, me too.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Our Gen Z
even-
has creaks already.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you think that he might slow down in terms of like the tournaments he's playing in between? So kind of just go for the slams to be able to get to those
But
Olympic
can he
games.
do that
I
for
think
his
only he
points?
knows what he's thinking.
Ugh.
And
Get off the fence.
No, he only. I mean, he may well take. You
Well, as long
play
as he
less
can stay
tournaments and
fit
save
between,
himself. But
why not?
Is he motivated to do that? He might.
Well, sounds like it.
It's 3 years away.
He's just got a little bit of room left in the trophy cabinet for
3 years
another
of-
gold.
There's no room left in the trophy cabinet. He's got a
You
museum.
should see it. It's the size of an
got a
air
house.
hanger. Yeah. His trophies have a
Probably the
house.
size of my apartment.
Yeah.
Probably bigger, to be
But
fair.
that's just his slam trophies. There's all the other
That's it.
stuff. All right, well, that's enough from me and what caught your eye. Thank you very much for playing along, everybody. In a bit of other tennis news, a new queen of queens, Tatjana Maria.
Obviously loves grass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, in 22, she made a semi-final of Wimbledon. I mean, that's no mean feat.
No, huge.
So probably not a household name, but someone who can really excel on that surface, and
Mm-hmm.
she obviously feels comfortable there. And, you know, when you're an older player, you have more experience.
Look at
You-
Jamie
you-
nodding,
yeah.
going,
Yeah,
as
you
an
do,
older
don't you?
player,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
you're youthful.
And I think in terms of like her game style, it suits grass 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if everyone's watched videos, but she pretty much slices everything. So she has a pretty good first serve, can hit her spots incredibly well. I think throughout this week she served quite well as well. So I think when you're up against, you know, when you're beating 4 top 20 players, serving on grass is huge. And I think her ability to then go off the slice when she's wide or on a neutral ball, it just makes people so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and on the grass, exactly. Yeah, on the grass, it's a different ball game when, you know, there's a lot of human backboards back there, aren't there? In tennis, there's a lot of many modern players who they dig that trench at the back and they hit the same type of ball, but the ones with variety can give you trouble on grass because the ball stays lower, significantly lower. If it's got a slice on it, you have to adapt the angle of your racket face and know how much you've got to spin the ball, and it's not the same ball to hit than the one that's sitting up high in the zone. So, you know, it probably, I would think, causes a lot of the opposition players to make more errors, you would think. And, yeah, so she'd be an awkward player, I think, to play on that surface.
Yeah, quite uncomfortable. And also, it's also dependent on how the grass is playing too. I think every grass court can be a little bit different. So, yeah, her shots and how that is affected with the grass can
She'd be
make
hoping
quite...
it gets wet later.
Yes.
Ball's really
Slides.
staying low and
Yeah.
digging in. And
And I have seen and heard that it's been quite slippery at Queen's. Like they've been slipping
Right.
over
Yeah.
on the grass because
yeah.
obviously no one had probably played on it much before they started playing. So it'll probably be great conditions
Yeah.
for when the men play.
good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
You know, that sort of, I like that sort of stuff because it brings a bit more variety.
Yeah, you need some variance. If it's the
in the
same
sport,
old, yeah.
And you see a different skill set.
as well as it challenges those on the other side of the net. When you do have this different skill set coming in,
Yeah.
the stalwarts on the other side have to go, okay, time to rethink. This is not just
And
the
adapt.
everyday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what am I going to do differently to be able to beat her? How
Exactly.
am I going to overcome
Yeah.
this challenge?
And she's had a huge, she's shot up to
Yeah.
43, ranked number 43, just shy of her career high ranking of 42. This could be her season.
Queen's Club's a big title.
Yeah.
You know, I know in the men's game.
She also
Jamie,
qualied.
there you go.
Huge.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So she'd be confident. She's
Yeah.
won a lot. But to win the Queen's Club, you know,
Very prestigious,
got-
isn't it?
Prestigious.
Yeah.
we always used to tease Neil Fraser, you know, God bless him. And we would always refer to him as Neil Fraser, Queen's Club, because he'd won the tournament. He was a member, you know, and it's a big deal to win that tournament
Yeah.
leading into
Yeah.
Wimbledon.
So
is
if
it-
you win the tournament, you become a member? How
At
does-
Queen's, I don't know for sure, but I know Neil was a member and used to wear that badge of honour.
Absolutely.
And,
Who wouldn't?
We used to tease him about it, but he used to love it.
Because Wimbledon, if you win that, you become a member
Yeah.
of the All England.
Lifelong.
Yeah.
You win
Yeah.
the singles.
Yeah, because there was that great clip of Roger rolling up outside of Wimbledon, and the security was like, "Sorry, you've got to be a member." He's like, "I don't have my card on me, but I have won the tournament several
I
times."
remember that.
And security guard's like, "I don't know what to do."
But I love this fact about Queen's is that it's the first women's event back at Queen's Club since 1973 when Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley, was a finalist.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So it's been a while since women have played there. And
Yeah.
I think it's really great to have the men and women back together there.
And I think it's pretty obvious. Like, it's got us talking, it's got people talking. It's going to be. I think they're back.
Yeah.
It's going to be a men and
always
women
one
event.
that we watch, the Queen's tournament. Like it's just.
I think one of the nuances of our sport is that people have different styles, and it's or an important part of the sport actually. I love it when someone comes in with a different style. You know, it brings interest. You know, more players winning. I think that creates more stars, more interest.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm pumped for it.
Yeah.
What do we think we'll see from Maria at Wimbledon? What do you think?
Well,
Tennis
Good
would
signs?
be my pick.
Yeah. Oh, you think
That's
you'll
a
see
good
tennis
pick.
from
Plenty
her?
of tennis.
Oh.
he's
That's a really good
comedian.
pick.
How's that insight?
Absolute
Yeah.
comedian.
He's not
You're on
even
the
standing
pulse
up.
of the game.
You know, he's not-
Whee, sit down comedian. Wouldn't that be a gig? Sorry, keep going.
No, but
Well,
do you
you'd
think it
expect
bodes
that she could
well?
play well. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? The court start again. Courts will be green. There's players practice on them leading in, but
Wait, so you give me crap for saying she'll play tennis, but Fitzy just said grass is green, and we're just going to let that
No,
go?
he means like fresh.
Oh, okay.
Like they've not played on yet.
Whatever.
you got to know the lingo.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
Greener
like
than
you're a bit green
when it
with
gets
this.
later into the tournament. When it dies off a bit, changes colour. So why wouldn't she play well? If she can get enough rest now,
Yeah.
and if the body's holding up and she's not, there's no little niggles,
Yeah.
she'll give someone a shake.
Yeah, good.
You'll be watching, Jamie?
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah, and especially out for Maria, so it'll be good
Yeah.
Yeah.
On those green courts.
on those green
On the green
grass
courts. And then the last thing we wanted to just cover off is obviously Andy Roddick said something on
Oh,
his podcast
yeah,
this week.
the other tennis podcast, yeah.
Yeah. What did he say?
I think I'll quote him, actually, Brie.
Yeah.
I think tennis players are the best athletes in the world. 5 hours and 40-something minutes on the biggest stage. You compare this to other sports, an NBA game is 48 minutes, played in air conditioning, where you have teammates, halftime, timeouts. To say one thing doesn't mean you're throwing shade at something else. So, to cut it short, Roddick thinks tennis athletes are the best and hardest working athletes in the world. We have two of them across from
Makes
us.
us feel good.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
us look
good.
great. Yeah, I'll take that.
Agree, disagree? I agree.
Yeah,
Go for
I
it.
agree.
Well, I'm a little loath to make too many comments about some of those other sports. They're pretty tough, some of them. There's not a lot of body contact in tennis, by the way.
No,
I've seen some pretty tough sports around the
hard
world.
hits.
Yeah, so I think they're all to get to the pinnacle of any sport. You obviously need to be a pretty special athlete. But I like the bias. I like it from Andy. And who am I to argue with Andy? I mean,
No.
You're
5
John
hours-
Fitzgerald. You've
5
got
hour-
opinions?
No, 5 hours and 40 minutes is astounding.
Yeah.
And to not have that level drop off at the French Open. And there is an argument to say that when you're on a court in a gladiatorial situation, you've got you down one end, you've got an opponent up the other. There's nowhere to hide. You can't run off and substitute at any time you want.
But even in that match,
It's a heck of a tough sport.
yeah.
It is.
But there was no extended toilet breaks. There was no physio calls out.
Don't you love that, by the way?
Yeah, it was up.
Jamie,
It's
it's one of my
huge.
pet hates.
Oh, really?
Just the
6-1 in the first set and they go off.
Yeah.
Stop
I've
it.
done it sometimes.
Don't do it. Don't do it,
Hey,
mate. Don't.
if the strategy works. But yeah, it was just an amazing. Like, I know it's different in a 5-set, but what's your longest match, Jamie, that you've played?
Well, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, take a guess.
But I think this year's AO, I had the longest qualies match. I think it was
Wow.
4 hours.
Whoa.
Gee,
Standing up for 4 hours
In
would
3
be tough.
sets?
But
Yeah. Well, yeah, she
How hot
kind of
was it?
played a little bit. So it was, I think it was 30. But I played first on at 10.
it was sort of cool.
It was cool. Yeah,
that's
I
amazing.
was first on at 10, but yeah, I think that was my longest match.
Good
But
for you.
I'm kind of
Did you win it?
notorious. No, I lost 4 in the third.
Well,
I'm notorious for playing long matches, so I kind of know what this feels like. I can pretty much back up playing 2 hours every day, playing
Yeah.
3 sets.
Yeah.
I don't mind a
God.
grind. So yeah, I think pretty much what he stated. I think in terms of our sport and not just on court, I think everything else
Around
around of
it.
what we have
Travel.
to do, the travel, when you don't have someone doing everything for you, we have to do everything
Yep.
for ourselves when you're not at that level yet. I think, our sport is one of the toughest and I think that showed it on that final.
well, it's interesting because it talks about NBA and NFL and basketball, football, soccer. They're all team sports. Like you've got people to kind of lift you up when you're down, and you do that for your teammates.
Yeah.
Tennis, outside of doubles, it isn't truly individual sport.
And a lot
only
of-
other would
yeah.
be swimming.
A
And
lot
it's
of- sorry.
global. No, sorry, you're fine. But yeah, it's just amazing that, you are by yourself. You might have a team, you might be with your mum or your dad, or you could be literally on your own. That's got to weigh on you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of these other team sports, someone tells you what to do to an extent. Whereas you're on the court and every shot, every decision you make is based on what you feel. And in that split second, you have to decide. So my coach can tell me, but I don't have to listen, or I can listen. But in that moment, I have to decide how I want to hit it, where I want to hit it, what I want to do with this ball, how is it going to affect my next shot. And I think that's the beauty of playing tennis.
And watching it too, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's something that I enjoy and why I kind of play also.
All right, so Jaimee Notorious Fourlis calls for timeouts in tennis? No, just kidding.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, well, from one pretty good podcast in Erotic to another amazing podcast, The Sit Down.
Yeah.
I think we've got a little clip. This week, the team over on The Sit Down, Todd Woodbridge, caught up with Jonas Bjorkman. I think we've got a little clip. So have a little listen to that, and we'll be back in a sec.
When I started to play with you, I untucked my shirt and started to kind of dance and live around and become a completely different personality. And I probably would say that you were the start of me becoming a game show host.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I like that.
My true personality out in the open.
And I see that advertising now on TV. I mean, Woodbridges are everywhere. I go for the trams when I see Bo, and then, watching the TV, the tennis when I hear you commentate. And then all of a sudden, like in between, become the adverts of this tipping point. With that big one, that I like that one. That's the perfect way of your new style.
Yeah, my new style. Well, you've got style. You always have. You had style and swagger. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you,
As I
Todd.
say, we could talk for hours.
Yes.
But there's just a little bit of a snippet of a relationship that has been going on for some 30 years now.
Yes, it's crazy.
Johnny, mate.
When the courts were green.
Speaking of Todd Woodbridge, for our Aussie listeners and viewers, old Teddy himself, he's up for a Logie, which is the Emmy
I saw
of
that.
Australia. Yeah, it's because he's the busiest man, not just in sport, but in just broadcasting.
In quizzes.
Yeah, he's the quiz master, second only to you, Brie.
Yeah.
I know you've got a quiz burning
I
a
do
hole
have
in
a
your
quiz,
pocket,
yeah.
but he does Tipping Point on Channel 9, a very great game show. He does commentary for the AO and Wimbledon, all sorts of things.
And the
he's like-
Olympics, we cannot forget the
yes,
Olympics.
yes,
He also
yes.
did the Paralympics.
He's like Chicken Man. He's everywhere.
Chicken man.
Everywhere.
I love
He's
that.
everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the new Eddie everywhere. No, so if you can, jump on tvweeklogies.com.au and give him a vote.
Vote
Give
for
him a
our
vote.
very own
Give him a
Teddy
vote. Yeah.
Woodbridge.
Most popular presenter, I think, is the Logie he's up for.
Yes.
Great, good on
Most
him.
popular.
Most popular. Oh, He's got my vote.
I reckon
He's up
I reckon
against
he'll win it.
Hamish Blake, I think.
Hamish, you cooked, mate.
Yeah, from Lego Masters.
Yeah, exactly. Build your way out of that one, Lego boy. Anyway, so we'll be back in a sec. Quick ad break. And on the back of it, we've got a bit of a quiz from Brie, Ace of the Week from all of us. And then I'll keep rattling off until Harper and Vic cut me off. See you a sec. Welcome back. A little bit more from us. Brie, it looks like here you've got another quiz.
I do have a quiz. So today we are looking at a bit of a quiz about grass court tennis. And the question won't be,
So I'm just
what
playing with
colour is
buttons.
grass?
Okay. Green.
Great. Oh,
Dark
damn
green,
it.
I like
Still one.
Because there's two colours in your...
Oh, many. There's,
Yeah.
What,
there's
brown?
many shades.
There's
many shades.
Okay. You're not wrong. Let's talk about carpet court tennis. That's a thing, isn't it? Or is that, carpet as a surface? Carpet, not the shop.
I've never heard of carpet court tennis.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's get on to question number 1. Would you like to press 1? Okay, the first question is, so which 5 countries host ATP or WTA grass court tournaments? Fitzy.
US,
Yep.
Germany,
Yep.
Holland,
Yep.
England,
Yep.
UK,
Yep.
and what am I missing? There's one more?
Alcaraz.
Spain.
Of course. Of course.
Do you still have
Do I
points?
still get anything?
In Mallorca. In Mallorca.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woo! Well done.
Yeah. That was the twist.
Yeah, that was the twist. Okay, 2.
Okay.
3,
That's 3.
2,
Of all non-Australians, who has won the most Australian Open single titles on grass?
Oh, God. So we're going back to Kooyong days.
Non-Australians.
Yeah.
Kooyong.
Australian
Navrat?
Opens on grass.
Nah, not Navrat. I don't know.
Yeah.
In men's or
joking.
So when
women's?
Australian Open was on grass.
In men's
Did
or
I have it right or not?
Who did you say?
Navrat.
Oh, yeah, you do
Navratilova.
have it right.
A complete guess.
I was busy answering.
Did you look?
No, she said yeah, because I was just when you're talking about your doubles partner before.
Yeah, it was
You're the
men
luckiest
or,
guy.
She's the only one I can remember.
It was men or women, and it was Australian Open singles titles on grass.
Okay.
When we had it on grass.
Probably would have
Shut it
helped if
down.
was
I
men-
think
men
I'm
or women.
ahead.
2-0.
Hey!
Martina won 81, 83, and 85.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell
you
you
go.
when.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, 3. Todd Woodbridge won a record 9
22. Oh.
Wimbledon men's doubles tournaments. How many did he win without Mark Woodford?
I know.
Oh.
Fitzy? Well done.
For those
And who did
listening,
he win
put up
them
3
with?
fingers.
JB,
Yeah. Bjorkman.
Jonas Bjorkman.
Yeah.
So the answer was 3.
2003, 2004 with Jonas Bjorkman.
Yeah. What a record that was.
I feel like we're tied now.
Pretty
You-
amazing.
You have to win a lot of
9 Wimbledon
close.
men's doubles.
You have to win a lot of close clutch moments to do that.
Yeah. He's a miracle man, that
I've
Todd
pressed the 4
Woodbridge.
button.
Okay, number 4. Who won a singles and doubles title at the last ever Australian Open played on grass?
You want singles and doubles.
Yep. On the last ever Australian Open played on grass.
Wow. So who won the last one?
But they won singles and doubles.
Right, okay.
So it
Really?
wasn't the last one.
Really? Well, it's got to be Martina again.
No. It's a dude.
Dude,
So Johan Creek won.
who's the
Johan Creek won.
who's the guy?
Vilas won a couple. He didn't win the doubles.
No, that was on
Singles and
Melbourne
doubles
Singles and
at
doubles
the Australian Open.
title at the last ever Australian Open played on grass.
I'm saying Stefan Edberg.
And Fitzy.
Oh my
that is
God,
correct.
how? I mean, you are very good at knowing everything.
1987, Stefan Edberg.
He won the doubles
won
as well.
Singles and doubles.
Wow.
I mean, I was
did he win with
Anders
Anders Jarrett?
time, so
Did
and
he
that's
win?
well before you.
I should just be cut out of the quiz.
So Jamie wasn't
idea.
even.
I wasn't here.
Yeah,
Bathroom break.
yeah.
I was 3 years old.
Different century.
I was 1.
You can roll it.
Baby.
All right, where are we up to now?
Won't hold
5.
that against you.
Closest to the pin, how many vertical grass strips run end to end on the courts of Wimbledon?
The mowing strips.
Yeah.
20.
No, I'm saying less. What do you think, Jamie?
12?
22.
Hey!
Come on. That's so annoying that he got that right.
Yeah. Even I'm annoyed.
He's like,
I was literally going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Here's a guy that said carpet court tennis was a. How does he know about surfaces?
I don't know. He doesn't know anything. It's just
And
a
yet-
fluke.
He's smarter than the
And
average.
yet,
He's a
the
fluke.
tipping point of this game is heading in my favour.
No, Fitzy definitely won.
No,
Oh, thanks,
Jamie and
Brie.
I agree.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, if
Go
you want to be back on the
Pandrew.
show,
She's
you'll
on this
agree
side.
with me.
She's on this side of the table, pal.
Yeah, well, days are numbered. No, that was good fun. Well done, Brie.
Thank
Well
you,
done,
Brie.
Harper.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harps.
Good on you, Harps.
Thanks, Harps.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of my shenanigans. Thank you so much, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you, Jamie.
We hope you'll come back.
Woo!
Please.
Yes,
She's-
definitely.
she's a
Yes,
delight, isn't
definitely.
She is a
Excellent. Cool. And
delight.
Fitzy, as always, such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, mate. Thank you,
Our
Zach.
fave.
Yeah, and Brie,
Good to
you
be
better head off to your divorce court or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, if only I had someone to divorce.
That's us for the day. Join us again next week for more of the tennis in our Wimbledon preview episode, including the second instalment of our wildly successful fantasy draft. Have a
Oh,
great week in
yes.
tennis. We'll catch you next week. Harps, can you tell everyone what they need to do? See you in a week, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.